Hey guys, still here and welcome back to ICBM. It's been a while and of course the game has not been idle. I have, when it comes to this game, I really haven't played it. But currently I am running the Dawn at Midnight Total Conversion mod. It adds a ton of different units, it adds a ton of different options and, well, in one playthrough, in one game if you will, it's going to be very difficult to employ every single thing that this mod adds. But there are some really interesting things that you can do, such as deploy ground forces. Now, deploy ground forces is something that you might know from the Parabellum mod as well, but this mod has three different ways. It has just your regular army, but it also has an airborne division, and it has a naval division. It has a marine group. So we're going to have some fun with those. Now, I'm going to be playing as Europe. It is going to be just a versus AI game, because that's the easiest way for me to pause the game every now and then, explain what I'm thinking, explain my tactics, and just go over some of the features that this mod adds. To make sure that my armies can actually find their targets, I'm going to rely upon satellites, which will be flying over Africa, West Asia, and Russia. Those are going to be my biggest enemies. North America, potentially reachable, but you do need to invest quite a bit in the Navy to actually get there, and that's not really my plan for this playthrough. So we're going to remove everything right now. I'm going to do the enable research tech, or enable armies tech. And let's see, we're going to need 1960s engineering. We're going to need 1960s electronics. We're going to need the ground forces from the 1960s. This will allow you to build the army group, the airborne group, and the marine division. Or actually, no, sorry, that's this thing that already allows you to do that. This just upgrades them. Now, in order to drop off my airborne groups, because that's what I plan on using, I'm going to need a, where is it? A tactical, strategical, no. A special operations airbase. Hosts strategic transports and reconnaissance aircraft. These will allow you to drop off airborne divisions pretty much wherever the hell you please. Of course, you are limited to the range of your aircraft, but that is, well, that's pretty much the only thing. So I'm going to prepare one drop off for that. And let's see about the rest. Let's just build or buy one radar. What am I going to do with 13 points? I really don't need any more aircraft at the moment. Well, nukes, I guess. It's the name of the game, so why not? Okay. Here we go. Let's begin. Right. I am Europe. Europe has a border, of course, with Russia. You can just walk across it. But my plan is to annoy Africa a bit. And in order to do that, drop off my one airborne division. So, set up the Special Operations Airbase and drop off the airborne division at it, or near it. You don't quite see it, but when I launch the C-133, I'll be able to drop off that group. One radar site. Let's have a look at Russia insofar as I can see it, because my radar technology is really bad. Now, plan, get some satellites up, early. The satellites will allow my armies to get direction and tell my armies where to go. So we're going to go with satellites, and then more importantly, recon satellites. It's going to take me 20 minutes to do that. And in the meanwhile, we're just going to keep spitting out a couple more airborne divisions. So let's set this to ×2. Actually, just start it up. I'm not going to go with any alliance. So here we go. I can launch the strategic transport, fly it over the Mediterranean, click on the aircraft, and then you have the airborne division. If I click here, the aircraft is going to deviate from its current objective and is going to drop off that airborne division. Considering the range on this thing, I could, if I wanted to, drop it off all the way in North America, South America, East Asia, the edge of Russia, but Australia/Pacific, as it's called here, is out of range. So what this does is drop off an army group. Or rather, fine. This is the airborne division. Airborne divisions are slightly faster when it comes to maneuvering. They have a speed of 23. I think they're always 3 points faster than your standard army group. But this unit is, well, they're going to have to use that mobility, because there is a ton of stuff that they need to cover. So I'm just going to, for now, set them in a wide maneuver pattern. And unfortunately, you cannot have them patrol, as far as I know, because the game just sets a new waypoint. That is something that would be really nice. just have an army group patrol, especially here, for example, around Istanbul. They're usually putting up a lot of SAM sites. And having a patrol option would allow you to just keep those things suppressed. For now, I'm just going to have to wait for these guys to, well, to get to where they need to be. In the meanwhile, get the Airborne Division, get the satellite, and start launching a few satellites. That's the plan. There we go. We can now launch satellites. I think... Oh, sorry. I also need the satellite, the recon satellite tech. What does the satellite tech give me? Nothing. It's just an entry point, basically. It does allow you to get GPS, but that is only mandatory, I believe, for certain missiles, which, for now at least, I won't be relying upon. So, let's speed this up. We're getting 1970s electronics, which I believe is very, very early computing. Actually, no, 1960s is early computing. This is slightly later. 1970s, was that the 5.25-inch disc? Or were they still using those, the punch cards for computers? No, sorry, here, 1980s. This looks like a 5.25 slot on the front of that PC. And then 1990s, CD drive and 3.25-inch. I'm not even sure if some of you know what those things are, the floppy disk. Let's say it is an early data carrier. Over here we get the more advanced stuff, and then all the way 2020s. Looks like... Is that a rugged book, or... At any rate, it's some sort of fancy laptop. Anyway, recon satellites coming up soon. We have another Airborne Division ready. We're going to drop those off next to the airbase. And that way I can just fly them out towards Russia. And as long as I can drop them off here, I'm fairly... Oh, not you. I'm fairly certain that I won't get intercepted, because I can see whether they have any SAM sites, thanks to the radar. And it turns out they don't. So, I now also have a Airborne Division here in Russia. So again, we're going to set these guys on a fairly wide patrol. It would be lovely to also get their radar upgraded, shortwave radar, but for now I don't think that I really need that. They're going to be relying upon satellites anyway for finding targets. And I think shortwave radar... Actually, I don't know. It might make them slightly more accurate. Let's have a look. Shortwave radar... here. Improves the operating radius of shortwave radars. Allows your units to lock on a small moving target like an aircraft or missile and shoot it down. Invest into shortwave radars if you want to give your units an advantage against enemy jets. Yeah, sure, but I don't really think that that's going to be the main objective of these guys. And for now I'm just going to try and suppress all of my neighbors and make sure that they don't get a whole bunch of defenses up. Look at that. We have found a strategic airbase from Russia. And my Airborne Division is trying and killing it off. It's not going terribly quickly. But then again, we are using fairly old designs here. Is that a Chaffee? M24 Chaffee? It is 1960s airborne tech. You can also see these things getting upgraded. 1970s, 1980s, 1990s. And here we go, the ground force is 10s. This turns it into a striker, I think. And then the 20s just turns the ground assets, so your basic army group, into a better army group, basically. Anyway, that was one strategic airbase leveled, which is nice because strategic airbase is going to set you back about 8 minutes of production time. So Russia, if they want to, they're going to have to build another one of those. Setting them back, hopefully, another 8 minutes. And there it goes, a SAM site. Now, I am fighting against the AI, of course. Which means that they might not actually be using all of the tech that I am. They might not use all of the mods. I'm not sure how much they do use. I just don't know. Maybe they use some of the tech. I know that they upgrade their destroyers for one, because I did a test game and I saw them upgrade their destroyers. So they definitely use it, but maybe not as much as they could/should. And of course against players it is more fun. But unfortunately my buddies were currently unavailable for a video / I didn't want to wait too long. I just want to get this video out. Now, let's see. This is going to give me a nice amount of coverage over Russia and West Asia. Nothing detected yet. Oh, hello. West Asian Carrier Group. Why are you over here? I have no way of hitting these guys, because I have no naval units whatsoever. Nor do I have an airbase. But similarly, they don't really have that much that can attack me. And if you look at the weapon icons, they usually start with, I think, the first 3 symbols. But these guys also have SAMs and anti-ship missiles. So they got, what is that, Cruise Missile Tech 1, I think? Yeah, that's the early SAM. They got a 1960s Cruise Missile Tech on there. Which is fine, as long as I know more or less what they're doing and where they're going. That's enough for now. See, over here we can now see that they have a radar site. It's not really that important for me, but I might as well take it down. Over here we have a West Asian Strategic Airbase, SAM site, 2 more radar sites. There is something to be said for leaving these radars alive, simply because it will alert West Asia that East Asia might be making a play, and thus West Asia sends their aircraft over to East Asia to intercept, allowing my aircraft, much later in the game, to go on the offensive. And hopefully not get interrupted. Okay, radar site eliminated. Let's see if these guys can get some assistance over in Africa. Where do they likely build? If I go for an angle like this, I can cover quite a few of the cities. But their SAM sites are usually slightly higher. So we're going to do it like that, and also cover a bit of Australia, although that is not a target for me. See? Radar site over there. And a tactical airbase. Have a good one. I want one more SAM, or one more satellite, and then we're going to have another Airborne Division. So we're going to take out this strategic airbase. Sometimes the game doesn't quite know how to get there. So sometimes you're going to have to micromanage your groups in order to move around lakes, seas, small obstacles like that. There we go. They are getting attacked. I don't have SAMs, nor do I actually know if SAMs actually work. I mean, on an an army group. I haven't tested that yet, so let's test that. Get that up and running after we research 2000's electronics. I just don't think that they're going to do that much damage, because they're just using conventional bombs against a whole division. And it seems like these guys have a ton of hit points. So I'm not really too concerned about their longevity. They should be capable of surviving those bombardments. And then when they get close enough to the airbase, just knock it down. Yep. Down you go. Alright. I want to also get some coverage over West Asia. The rest of West Asia over there, so we can now pretty much see all of it. We can have good coverage in Russia. I'm going to go there and there. I don't really need that many more airborne divs. Let's go with a standard army group once this other airborne division is ready. You have to be careful, by the way, with an airborne division. If you have it loaded on an aircraft and the aircraft gets shot down, you lose the airborne division. I mean, it makes perfect sense. But if you're not paying attention to what your aircraft is doing and you accidentally fly it over a SAM site, you're going to regret it. It's going to get annoying because that airborne division is just going to get lost, which means you lose, I think, about 12 minutes of production time. Not great. Now, what I want to do next is, with my divisions, suppress any SAM sites, start researching thermonuclear bombs, then upgrade my aircraft a bit, and then start bombing them. That's my, let's say, end game-ish strategy. So we're going to knock out their radar sites, and then their airbase. Here. Come on. These guys are working on a SAM site over there. I need you to take out that radar site. The other radar site's a bit far. Ideally it would get taken down, but unfortunately I still don't have any air bases that can actually launch an airstrike like that. C-133 goes home. Perfect. We see what the US is doing. North America has a carrier group, but I think it's...
Research complete.
Yeah, they got some of it upgraded. And over here, North America also has a cruiser group with two cruisers and a destroyer. These guys have also been upgraded somewhat, but not that much. Radar site for South America. Okay, carry on. Full speed. Now, so far, I haven't seen the enemy AIs using any kind of the ground units, which I'm not sorry for, because I think they're quite annoying to get rid of. So, when the enemy is making a mistake, don't interrupt them, as they say. When the AI is not using these, I'm not terribly sorry not to see them do it. It seems like they're not even aware of this group, or they're not working to kill it, whichever it is. Found the other SAM sites. A few more SAM sites over there, but this is not a region I want to strike at. This might be here, because this is where the real gold is to be had. This is where their largest production cities are. Lagos, Kinshasa,
Production complete.
Kampala.
Research complete.
Okay, let's get some new research up. Give me another strategic airbase. And give me a couple of better aircraft. The army group is going to head into Russia. I'm sure they won't mind. These guys have a range of 250 and speed 800, which is exactly the same as these. They just are slightly slower at 20,000 or at 20 versus 23. But might also has less survivability, less hit points, fewer hit points, and potentially more damage. Maybe. All right, I want you guys to secure that part. You guys can secure this, because Moscow is very easily turtleable, usually. It's St. Petersburg and Moscow. Those have by far the most production value. So if you can take those down early, that'd be great. Now, we're still very early in the game, so warhead production efficiency is terribly low. I'm not going to be building any nuclear bombs just yet. I don't think it's worth my time. 53 minutes in. Take down that SAM site next to Istanbul. Done. Moving back to Baghdad. Over here there are some SAM sites. These are strategically annoying because my aircraft will fly right over them as they're heading to Lagos. Alright, strategic airbase right here. Should be able to strike quite a few targets. We have the, I think the Mirage 4 as a strike aircraft. And this is the EEL. I'm not sure which aircraft that's supposed to be. But the more advanced your aircraft become, the more, let's say, recognizable, at least for me, the aircraft become. Because I'm more familiar with current day aircraft than I am with aircraft from the 1960s. Now, this guy cannot find a way to get there, so I'm going to help them out a little. Yeah, let's keep this army group this over here. And Russia seemingly is not building any ground assets. At least not here. That doesn't preclude them from building anything over there that can still hurt me later. 1970s engineering is coming up. Followed by 4th generation aircraft. Excellent. New airbase is coming up. Strategic airbase, that is. And what else? Maybe another satellite. So I can get a bit more vision. ASW Helo, Maritime Patrol Aircraft. I don't have a Maritime Patrol base or a Naval Air Station. That's what houses those things. But I don't feel like I really need them at the moment. At least not yet. Of course, it's nice to be countering any kind of naval unit. But so far, I'm not terribly afraid of them. Okay, 4th gen aircraft are done. Which means that we're now working on 4.5 gen aircraft, or 4.5. Our aircraft have been upgraded to the C5 strategic transport. Let's see, these guys... Well, they still don't have the range to get all the way to Australia. And I can get all the way to the west coast of the US, but it's a one-way trip. So I'm not particularly eager to make that trip. Aircraft upgraded to the Saab 37 and the TRS-2 bomber, carrying 45 conventional bombs, or, if I so choose, 10 megaton bombs. But I currently don't have any of those warheads. Look at these guys. They are really dedicated to defending their middle territories, I guess? Not really sure why. Alright. No, I don't need an airstrike right now. Carry on. You guys can take this down. And the army group's gonna head over there. Could you take down this thing, potentially? That'd be great. Go on. Accuracy leaves something to be desired. What? Look at this thing. I shoot it, I hit it, and it instantly goes back to full health. That's curious. I didn't see that in the last game that I did. Hit him again. There we go. That's more like it. Might have been a small glitch there. Working on 2000s engineering, and soon to follow 4.5 gen aircraft. Now this army group, sorry, Airborne Division over here is going to have no shortage of targets.
Production complete.
Let's hope that they can actually take it out. And let's see what the rest in Africa... Actually, no, I want to see what Russia has. A bit more concerned about Russia's eastern perimeter. Because I want to know if there's any silos over there that I might need to knock down. There. And we can also see some of South America, but I'm not likely to strike there. I think I can reach it. Yeah, I can reach some of this. I might export one of my air groups. My airborne divisions, but it's a one-way trip. Besides, I hope that South America and North America are going to slug it out between the two of them. And that I won't really have to do too much to intervene there. Those guys can just work on their own mutual destruction. Just casually demolishing everything that these guys have. No big deal. Oh, we got something over there. St. Petersburg. And Russia has a carrier group here. Interesting. Again, not much that I can do about that. Yeah, go here and go there.
Research
I think it's time
complete.
to start upgrading my ground forces again. It's all the way down here. There we go. It's going to make them faster. It's going to make them more effective. Exactly what I want them to be. Destroyed. Destroyed.
Production
Army groups are
complete.
definitely more proficient in demolishing stuff than the other guys are. What is next? Warhead efficiency 21%? No. Still takes me 1.34 minutes to build a bomb. Not great. Let's get a few more airborne divisions out there. Already have one loaded. I could drop it off next to Casablanca to avoid the SAM site over
Research
there.
complete.
Okay, carry on. We're going to go all the way to the ground forces from the 20s. 2020s, that is, of course. These guys are now doing 30. The airborne division's doing 33. And they have been upgraded to, if I'm not mistaken, the Sheridan. Oh, shit. Africa has an aircraft carrier over there. So I am definitely not getting into Africa through here. I'm gonna knock out this SAM site and hope that I don't get countered by aircraft. I should be fine. At least I hope so. I think this adds a whole new interesting level to ICBM. The ability to use ground forces. Because especially in a multiplayer game, it is very normal to see either Europe or America or Russia, for example, especially Russia, considering that they have most of their urban centers quite close together, that they just turtle up. They throw SAM site after SAM site after SAM site, radar after radar, and the only real way to get in there is by using either a lot of missiles or, well, cluster missiles, so ICBMs with MIRVs. Those can work. You could try and put ships over here. Sometimes that works, but it's just really difficult to get into. Now that you have all the options to use ground forces, it is a lot easier to get in there. And this one, I want you to drop off your forces over there. That one, I don't need you because you don't carry anything. We're going to send you over here, and the other group is going to go over here to Algiers to get rid of the SAM site and the radar site. These two. And over here, the army group can take that out. By the way, I haven't mentioned this yet, but you can also build LSTs, amphibious assault ships. They can host/transport army groups and or marine divisions. These things allow you to actually do invasions, if you so desire. So if you're feeling like, you know what, I'm Europe, I'm having a really hard time getting into America because they have all of these SAM sites, I'm just going to send a ship over and drop off an army group or two, and they're going to clean up the SAM sites, and then the bombers come in. You can do 1-2 punches like that, and that makes it really, really nice. Now over here, this SAM site near Aleppo needs to get destroyed. We have another airborne div. Clicking pretty close. We now have C-17 transports. They get sort of upgraded, but speed and range seem to stay the same. Drop them off there. I'm sure West Asia doesn't mind if there's yet another European group operating in their territory. Not sure I'll be exactly welcomed, but that's usually not really what an invading army cares about. Anyway, now that I have these enemies suppressed, I think it's time to start striking, which means that I could get, well, some retaliation, which is expected. And as bad as it sounds, I don't actually care. Because sure, you will get hit. It's part of the game, but if you can get a lot of points early on, that allows you to get such a high score that it doesn't really matter. You just get away with it, if you will. There we go.
Research complete.
Ground forces have been upgraded to the max. These guys now do 48, which is substantially faster than the 23 that they started out with. Range and speed are still the same. And the army group, that's the airborne div. Here's an army group. These guys now do 45. Let's have these guys do some back and forthing over here. I want you to just continuously scour the area around Istanbul. You guys are going to make a straight pass through there. You're going to take out this thing, and you're going to move through there. I think that's all the groups that I have currently put to work. Just cleaning up some SAM sites here. Production efficiency 34%. We're 1 hour 42 into the game. Anything else that needs to get struck down? I'm not seeing any silos from the Russians. I'm not seeing any air bases from the Russians either. So they might be fair game. Strike plan. Using the strategic airbase, target city. West Asia, yes. Pacific, no. East Asia, no. South America, no. North America, no. So just Russia, Africa, and West Asia. And in order to strike, we're going to set these things up to use the 10 megaton bombs, which I don't have yet, but now a production only takes 50 seconds. Let's see, what else would be nice? Not really sure. Maybe better aircraft to ensure that I can actually drop off those bombs before they get shot down. Suppose we could queue that up.
Production complete.
Very good. Another Airborne Division's ready. I'm gonna start building a
Research
whole lot of
complete.
bombs. Alright. Where do we need these? Russia is pretty... well, not so much secure. Ooh. Hello. That needs to go. Normally, in ICBM, in vanilla, you would send out an airstrike, potentially, to get rid of this thing. But now I can just drop off an airborne group, pretty close to it, and ensure that whatever's out there is not going to stay out there for very much longer. And these are expensive, missile silos. They take a while to build. And I believe that they already have them upgraded. Because normally, if you have ICBMs, you get one silo. If you get the improved ICBMs, you get the triple silo. So I can expect ICBMs, at least for now, to start coming out of East Asia until I knock down this missile silo. That's the plan. What the US is doing, I don't know. I really hope that they're not going to do too much. The tactical airbase can't reach me, at least not with nukes. So it's only South America, tactical airbase can't reach me. They do have... is that an over-the-horizon radar? That's some fairly advanced tech. That's in the radar section. Here. They already got that. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, Russia is still pretty much pacified. Just how I like them. We're still using standard DDs, not DDGs, so not guided missile destroyers. They haven't upgraded their ship tech yet. Which is good. Good lord, getting in here is going to be a problem. There's going to be a lot of cleanup here. Let's see if we can actually do enough damage to this silo. Maybe not, actually. Because I wouldn't be surprised at all if these silos had a very high amount of hit points. This is probably going to take him a while. If I can even get it done at all. We're going to need another airborne division there. You take that one out. Not sure why this is taking so long. Thank you. Well, they're working on it. It's just taking them a while. And of course, building a SAM site really doesn't take very long. I think a SAM site's what... oh, actually, I couldn't even tell you. Because SAMs... have I even invented those? Nope. I don't have a SAM. So I couldn't shoot down an aircraft even if I wanted to. Right. Okay, this is going to be a bit of cleanup. And the video is already running for more than a half hour. So the next part is going to be me initiating the nuclear war. I have a couple of bombs. I am ready to strike. We're going to strike Istanbul, Lagos, Moscow, St. Petersburg, and various other targets, provided that we get, of course, a nice supply of these 10 megaton bombs. Warhead production efficiency jumped to 72, so in the next part there will be more nuclear war. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Find the mod in the description and play it for yourself. Try nuking your friends. It's all fun and games until somebody starts glowing. Anyway, see you guys soon for the next part.